Welcome to Virtual Concert Hall's live music channel. My name is Chris Au and I will be your host for today's show. Today's program is about the most unique feature of Sound Espressivo competition and all of our auditions and our gala events and our live auditions, which is our immediate feedback. Right, we offer immediate feedback from our judges, and we're really excited to be able to do that for contestants and applicants from all around the globe. We will also introduce our Carnegie Hall auditions. Then these are all due October 1st, and there are many different opportunities for ensembles, soloists, duos, trios, composers, vocalists, singers to participate. This is such an incredible opportunity to perform at one of the most prestigious venues in the world, Carnegie Hall. And not only do you get to perform there, but you have your live performance recorded. What is our mission at Sound Espressivo and Virtual Concert Halls? It is to connect musicians and audiences in real-time performances and with music from around the globe. Welcome to Virtual Concert Halls. My name is Chris Au. I am presenting to you the 2023 to 2024 season. We're very excited here about all the events that are going to happen this season. We have so many things lined up, and we hope that you would not only tune into these events, but you'll consider applying or sending some of your students or being a part and to contribute to our amazing cause, which is a hybrid model of online auditions and in-person awards and connecting musicians from around the world for what we want to do. I want to summarize yesterday's show, which will lead into what we're going to do today. Yesterday, we talked about the positive and negative aspects of competitions. I reviewed a debate where I debated Dr. Anna Ouspenskaya, co-founder of Virtual Concert Halls and Sound Espressivo competition, about the positive elements and the negative elements of competitions. I proposed that competitions are this sort of place where you're playing the same repertoire, you're not expanding, and the top performers in the world probably didn't need competitions and they have an incredible career. And Dr. Anna proposed this incredible idea that competitions are a tool. They're the means in which to have a career. And if you have an artistic vision and a bigger goal of what you want to do, then the competitions can serve to connect you with musicians. It can serve to connect you with artists and managers and people who are able to give opportunities. And that's exactly what our Sound Espressivo competitions in collaboration with progressive musicians is able to offer. We offer opportunities to perform live in Carnegie Hall, but also to collaborate and to meet fellow musicians and people of a huge stature in our industry. And when you meet these people in our industry, you're able to form connections. And you never know whether it's a conductor, whether it's people at a concert master in charge of an ensemble, whether it's iClassical Academy, whether it is James Adler, who's a composer and pianist, and all people who are giving prizes out there. You never know when these opportunities, when you have someone and you click, and when these things happen, amazing chemistry can form and opportunities down the road. So we encourage you to participate and join us, because this is a really rare opportunity. And what competitors and performers want in competitions that we discovered is they want immediate feedback. And it's really important. This is a topic that I'm going to talk about today. Why is immediate feedback so important? Well, athletes and comedians, actors, movie makers, they all get it. They're able to produce something and get a result. Athletes compete and they either win or lose or draw. Comedians, they perform live and they get immediate feedback from the audience so they know whether the jokes are landed or not. As performers of music, however, we generally don't know what the audience thinks until maybe a critic comes out and says it, or we talk to our friends and family, or there's a mentor or a coach there who's giving us feedback. But what are we going to do, right? So I want to make sure that today's show is about this topic of immediate feedback, and I want to talk all about it. But first, we're going to introduce what's coming up. This upcoming season is really important, and I want to show you a video that is going to just show you little snippets of what you're going to expect. Wow, what an exciting season we have ahead of us. And what is really cool about what we're doing at Sound Espressivo in collaboration with progressive musicians and co-orchestra is that all these live auditions we do online, they're broadcasted all over the world, and the judges are part of the panel watching you live as well. Now, what that entails is that during your audition period, you get to perform, and right after you perform, you get to hear from at least 3 to 4 judges about what they thought of your performance, where you could probably improve upon, and all the great things that you did. And we'll talk a lot about the benefits of immediate feedback, right? And I'm going to show you a clip now discussing immediate feedback and how this is different from other competitions. And this is a clip from a few years back when we were starting to launch Sound Espressivo again into this bigger world space. And I hope you enjoy this little clip. So as a previous contestant of the 2020 Sound Espressivo competition, this was something I really enjoyed. When you go to live competitions, what happens? You walk on stage, you play your heart out, you get some people clapping for you, and then you walk out. And a lot of the time you don't get to talk to the jury. You're not even allowed to see the jury members. You're not even allowed to talk to them or smile at them or look at them. It's like you're completely separate. And sometimes you don't make it to the next round. Some competitions organize it so there's a dinner, so you actually get to ask the jury member questions. But what happens when they've heard 200, 300 contestants? Unless they're taking notes, by the time they get to that dinner, they probably have forgotten what you played, how you played, and the really important little piece of feedback they want to give you. What's incredible about this competition is that you don't have to wait for a gala or a dinner or anything to actually get feedback. You get it right away. Immediate feedback, no delay, right after you play. And to hear from every jury member, in this clip that you just saw, it was just only one jury member, but actually there were more people who spoke later on. What you get is feedback from pianists, from flautists, from clarinetists, from all different disciplines on how you made them feel. You get to hear this feedback that offers you closure. You just gave your heart out and you get some closure about what you did. You get suggestions, comments, and some sort of affirmation of what you did. And for Sadie there, who played her heart out, it was so encouraging to get the applause, but also to get the feedback from the jury, the people who are judging you, the people you respect, the people who you want to get some feedback from. And a lot of competitions out there don't give you that feedback, so you're left wondering. You're left maybe sometimes a bit resentful. You're left wondering, what did I do wrong? And I've applied to online competitions, and you have to pay extra to get feedback. And I think that's a bit of a scam. You're really ripping musicians off when you don't give them feedback from the judges. And so what Sound Espressivo competition does so well is that it gives you feedback right away. And in essence, it's like a mini masterclass. My thoughts exactly 2 years ago, and they haven't changed. I did a competition, a international piano competition recently in Japan. And the same thing happened. I was part of 120 or less competitors. And it was amazing. I had a great time. We got to choose different pianos, and we had 15 minutes to choose between 4 different concert grands, all stellar instruments. And I performed, and I found out I was eliminated after the first round. But it wasn't until I found out I was eliminated, and then there was a sort of evening event, maybe 30 minutes later, where you got to talk to 2 judges out of the 8. And there was a limit on how long they could sort of spend with you and how many judges you could see at a time. And most of them would turn up and look at you and have no idea what you played. And a lot of them would maybe go on their iPad and say, oh yeah, you played this? Okay, these are my thoughts. Now, I don't know what notes they took, but at least if they took notes, it's pretty good. But it still doesn't give you a detailed impression of their view on your playing. And you don't really know how honest they are either. And if you see a jury member and they don't even have notes, they might just look at your repertoire and say, oh yeah, your Chopin etude could have been a little bit this and that. Well, how does that make an impact on you? And it doesn't really give you that much closure either, because you're not sure whether their impression is accurate or not. They've listened to 80, 90, or 100 contestants, and they might have played a lot of the same pieces you did. So what I think now is still the same as what I thought 2 years ago, which is that to be able to get immediate feedback from judges is so essential. It gives you closure about your performance. And even if you don't advance into the next round, you know you got a lot out of this. And I think it's just so crucial to our experience as musicians. Getting feedback too late can sometimes be really detrimental, because not only do you have to think back about how you played or whether there were little blips and other mistakes you made, or you have to think back, oh yeah, that's how I prepared it. Oh, I guess this was... It's just inaccurate. It's not really immediate, and it's not something that gives you a lot of closure, especially after you've felt the devastation of being eliminated from a round. So what Sound Espressivo does is not only does it offer incredible opportunities to work with musicians and be connected with organizations that support musicians, but also a lot of these people who support musicians, from judges, conductors, and other people in our judging panel, is that you get the feedback right away. So if they say, hey, your presentation of this music was lacking, or when you played this, you need to do this, you know that this is stuff that you just did and it's fresh in your memory, and it's not too late for you to readjust. And if you advance, then you know that for the next round, these are the things you need to do. A lot of competitions, you don't talk to the jury members until you get eliminated, or if you advance, into the finals and then you win a prize. So you don't know what you could really fix. It's like, oh no, you're not balancing, in the hole well enough. You could do this to help yourself. And so these little pieces of advice as you go are really crucial so that you can continue to improve. And the same judging panel who's encouraging you and supporting you, if they can see these improvements, wow, they're blown away. They said, okay, this competitor from the preliminary round to the semi-final round to the final round, they've improved incredibly. Of course, we're going to give you a prize. And I've seen this in previous competitions of Sound Espressivo, where jury members would say, hey, this person has improved so much since the preliminary round. It's incredible. Let's put them through. Because who knows how they'll play in the final round? Who knows how they'll play in the laureate gala at Carnegie Hall, right? They are invested in the journey, and then we as an audience member are also invested. So this is really amazing, and I'll tell you why. And this next clip that I'm going to show you tells you why this competition is particularly special. And it's because it's established by professional musicians who are also invested in the growth of a musician.
This competition was not created by a business machine. It was created by a community of professional musicians, and that community is huge. 40 judges, music managers, and the backbone, the organizers of the competition, the Virtual Concert Halls Company, was established by professional musicians for professional musicians. How did we do that? We started by putting question to our community. Okay, do we like competitions? No! Do we have to do them? Absolutely, yes. So how can we merge that need for musicians to compete, to be seen, to be out there, and to get recognized, to get the certificates and all of that stuff? How do we merge it with making competitions actually helpful? And we were putting on the table all of the suggestions from professional musicians of my generation, and we were asking young musicians like Chris, what would make a competition be so that you would want to participate? Would I want to participate in a competition where I can't talk to the judge? Absolutely not. Let's make this available so that the judges can tell me what they felt, what they wanted me to do better, and so there I can ask them questions. Because, some things they may say and I don't quite understand it right away. Yeah. And the other thing, the other very important point, the immediacy of that feedback.
So Dr. Anna really eloquently articulates what is really special about our competition. Not only do we have a panel of 40 plus judges and music managers and people who are involved in the process of this, but they also give feedback, and they take feedback from students and young musicians who have participated in these auditions and competitions and tried to offer something amazing. And speaking of which, if you want to be a part of our competition, don't forget to apply. The deadline is October 1st, and we have a really amazing season ahead, right? If you want immediate feedback from judges after you play live, this is the competition for you, right? And I want to stress how important this immediate feedback is in following clips that we are going to show as well, right? We are a competition designed by professional musicians that understand and sympathize with musicians who are trying to make it in this industry. So even our prizes are prizes that offer something really special. We decided we're going to go straight to the source of the most important music venues in the world, right? And we are hitting upon Carnegie Hall, and this year we have 4 different dates for you to perform. So please, if you're interested, apply by October 1st. Our website is soundespressivocompetition.com, or you can go to progressivemusicians.com for all information and for everything that you need to know about our competition. I'm going to show you the next clip, which is about teachers and the feedback, and how teachers can also benefit from not only hearing the students live, and because this is broadcasted all over the world on social media live and in the present, but also they can hear the jury members talk about their students' performance, and they can say, oh, I see, maybe I was stressing too much about this part of the performance, but that was fine. There's other things that the student needed. And so I think it's also a really good thing for teachers to understand. So enjoy this clip. One thing that's really interesting if you're a teacher watching is that you also get to watch your student perform. And not only that, you get to watch the jury members talk to your students about how their playing affected them, impacted them, influenced them. And sometimes it's a really proud moment, but it's also a moment where you realize, okay, this is what other people think of their playing or my teaching. All right, these are really good suggestions. Yeah, and I think it's really great for teachers to be a part of the process. And because they can see how we operate live, and we hide very little. The only thing that we don't show, obviously, is the judges deliberating about the people who the contestants who advance. But you get to see the live feedback from these judges, and a lot of the time, it's so immediate that it's hard to hide what you really truly feel about the contestant. A lot of the time, if it's excitement and joy, it's there. If it's like a little confusion or concern about how this piece is sounding, it's all there too. So this immediate feedback offers teachers and students and family and friends a unique perspective into knowing how our competition works. I'm going to show you another clip by Dr. Anna, also about immediate feedback and why this is so important and integral to our competition.
Chris mentioned that one of the judges gave feedback, but all other judges gave their feedback as well in real time. And that was really liberating for the judges too, because they were able to really speak on the moment And that's what really matters for musicians, because we're performing in the concert hall in the moment, and then when the concert is gone, we want to leave good memories and good feelings and enrichment in our audience. But that's all happening in the moment. Why postpone those comments and put them, having to rewrite them, write them? It's a burden, and it's really not as effective.
I think this comes from the experience of Dr. Anna, who's an esteemed pedagogue and teacher and pianist herself, judging competitions or seeing how they're judged and realizing that all this feedback that they have and they want to share, yes, they can write it down and share it later, but it's always going to be less effective. It's always going to be a journey back in the memory lane in order to kind of accrue the same kind of passion for the piece or for the student or for the contestant. So what this competition offers is immediacy, right? Not only is this program live and immediate, but also all of our live auditions, as this name suggests, is immediate and live and in the moment and present. And this gives competitors a real sense that their performance matters, that their art is being watched and they get feedback right away, and that they're being appreciated for all the hours that they put in for the music to show. And what's really cool is sometimes we have competitors and they have a big fan group and a lot of fans who are watching as well, from family, friends, etc. And they also comment live. And if they comment live or they show likes or they show anything, we can show that right away, just like right now. And everybody who gives comments on our LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, that stuff is also immediate. And we can show that live so competitors can see for themselves that not only are they performing for an audience and, they can clap or congratulate us, but you can also see that. And I think that just makes the whole experience of performing live so unique and so special. We're going to talk about immediate feedback some more, but I want to show you a little slide about what we're promoting today, which is the Carnegie Hall auditions, right? And they're all due October 1st. Right, we have so many things that are coming up, and I want to make sure that you apply October 1st. Go to soundexpressivecompetition.com or progressivemusicians.com for any information and to apply. Check us out. If you have any queries, let us know, comment, or leave us a message on our website. This is a really cool event and season ahead, and I want you to be a part of it. Right, so the next clip I'm going to show you is going to talk about the international and diverse panel of judges we have. And this is really important too, because you want a diverse and range of perspectives. You have conductors, you have perhaps singers and other musicians, where they're the string players or wind players, or keyboard players, percussionists, who are able to give their perspective on the music that you're playing. And it's really crucial, because what I think when you're performing is you want to know not only what the people who play your instrument think of your playing, but also your collaborators too, right? And they have a unique way of hearing music and listening to music that might really feed certain elements in your playing that could develop. So we'll have a look at this clip now and you'll see what I mean.
How can we make this commenting more rich and represent different sides of performance experience? And that was by putting together a diverse panel of judges. As a musician myself, I need to know how I'm perceived by the audience, how I'm perceived by clarinetists, by other pianists, by string players, and very importantly, how I'm perceived by conductors, because I want to play with orchestras. So we mixed the judges panel to represent different disciplines. So you don't only hear from your fellow flutists, like in a competition which is focused only on the flute, but you hear from your potential chamber music partners, from the orchestra director, and from managers. All of these feedback matters to musicians so we can hone our craft.
And this is really well exemplified as soon as you play chamber music with anyone. Right? You can play solo on your own, but it's not until you work with other chamber musicians and in a bigger ensemble or with conductors that you realize, wow, there's all these different elements to put together in music that sometimes I'm not paying attention to. So what we have, especially in our diverse panel of judges, is a way for you to improve as a musician thanks to all the different perspectives that these judges will give to you via your performance. And not only do they give it to you immediately, but they don't delay that. They give you their honest opinion right away. And it's so important, it's so encouraging, and it's so supportive. And don't forget that if you want to be a part of this experience, to apply by October 1st for our Carnegie Laureate Gala auditions. Right, we'll talk a little bit more about all the different people who could apply to this, but it's very exciting. And October 1st is our deadline. And I encourage you to check our website, soundespecificompetition.com, to apply, or you could also go to progressivemusicians.com to also check out our entire range and plethora of competitions and how you can best position yourself to perform at one of the most prestigious music venues in the world. I want to show you one more clip about getting closure about your performance. And this is really quite essential because our egos and our pride lie a lot in the art we do. And whether it is a form of art or some form of other work that you do, you want to get some closure about how you did. And I think a lot of the devastation that happens within the musicians and people, whether you're applying for a job or whether you're applying for a competition or you're auditioning, is if you get rejected, a lot of the time you're left wondering and questioning your self-worth. And that can be very challenging for a musician, for an artist. When you're questioning your self-worth, whether, this was good enough, and you start to spiral down. And a lot of that's because you don't get enough closure about what you did. Whether the application was good enough, whether the audition itself could be better. And it could be tiny little things that could be the reason you were eliminated. It could just be the sound quality of your audition was just not good enough and we couldn't hear the nuances and that's it. Or it could be the fact that you're playing this piece which is of this level when everyone else is playing stuff that's a little higher. So if you just play things a little bit more, the pieces that were more difficult, or you chose better repertoire, then there's a high chance that your artistry is good enough to get into the next round. So having closure about your performance or what you submitted is so important, especially when you are rejected, especially when you feel the pain of not being accepted or not feeling like you're worthwhile or adequate. This is really important. So this next clip will show you a little bit more about what I mean. Let's say I didn't win a prize, but what I got out of it was that I actually got a lot of closure about my performance. And when you're playing for people and you get comments from a cellist, a violinist, a flautist, and pianist, of course, and conductors, you get a really good perspective of their way of listening, and it's really informative. And so I want to highlight that it's like a mini masterclass. Right after you play, you get a mini masterclass with 5 different people. And what other opportunity, what other competition can offer that? And so it's incredible. So it comes down to the point that I think in the sound specific competition, you are heard and you feel heard, and the most important part about performing and sharing music is to feel like you're being heard, that you're pouring out your heart. In a performance, you're nervous, you've prepared so much, there's a pressure to perform well, and you've given everything. Your heart's racing, and to get constructive feedback at the end of that, to get an acknowledgement after you perform, and it becomes a reciprocal act when you are rewarded for having shared your music, your art, and your story. And I did forget to mention the fact that when you have a judging panel that's giving you immediate feedback, a lot of the time it becomes like a mini masterclass, and we have judges who are part of this process who give quite long comments. They go on for a while because they want to help, they want to support. And when you feel that support, even if it's just across the screen, then you know that even if you're eliminated or you don't get through the next round, you received more than just being a competitor. You've received more than just having an opportunity to perform live. You've received more than having a platform to share your music. You've also gotten some feedback. You've gotten something in return. So this mutual feeling of giving and receiving allows musicians to feel better about their performance and to have that closure. So if all this sounds good to you, which for me it's been incredible, as I was a previous Sound Espressivo competition prize winner and competitor. If this all sounds good to you, I really encourage you to apply. And how do you apply? I'm going to share with you the website and talk a little bit more about what we have to offer. And if you go down to our website, soundespressivo.com, you'll get to our Carnegie Hall auditions. I encourage you to click on that. And what you'll see is we have the recital. This is for soloists, for duos, trios, vocalists, ensembles, of smaller groups, of course. And the deadline is October 1st, which I mentioned before. So if you're seeing this and you're really enthusiastic about it, make sure you apply right away. Don't delay any longer and submit your video and your application and we'll get in touch. Now, we have 2 performance dates for soloists and instrumentalists and small ensembles, which are November 21st and April 1st, 2024. Right, you apply with a video and selected musicians will be invited to give a live online audition. Right, and what you'll get, selected musicians at the end, you'll get a recorded footage of your performance, etc. The live auditions will be held on October 27th to 30th. So that's an important date to mark your calendar. And these live auditions are just incredibly beneficial. And this is when the immediate feedback really happens. In the gala, you get to be interviewed by Steve Robinson. There's an opportunity to win the James Adler Audience Favorite Award, which is awesome. You also get this is the repertoire limitations, which are not limitations by any means. It's open for pretty much every genre. And how exciting is that, right? So we have judges, which is why we have a lot of judges. And this is important because these judges are able to give us a feedback depending on what you perform. Right, so you see duos there performing piano duets. It's incredible. So the different age divisions and different winners and laureates depending on the age division and who we choose. And pretty much everyone is invited, whether you're an amateur, whether you're a professional musician, whether you're in college, whether you're in pre-college, and whether you're in high school, elementary school, you're included. These are just sort of the awards and the judges panel. I want to talk a little bit about the other stuff that we have. If you look at Carnegie Hall auditions, you can also perform with orchestra. These are slightly different dates for performance, November 21st and April 4th, but we also encourage you to submit your audition. Now, the different fees will apply because you're playing with orchestra, and the certain concerti and certain movements on concerti would be accepted, right? We only accept one movement of a concerto, and ideally these are short movements because performance fees will apply. And additional lengths in the concerto, we'll have to charge you for that because Carnegie Hall runs on a strict schedule. Now, this is all there on the website for you to check out, so I encourage you to do so. So this is for if you want to perform with orchestra, and we have the incredible conductor Giacomo Franchi, as well as the New York Chamber Player Orchestra, which is available for you to perform with them. Now, last thing is, if you're a composer, you have the opportunity to have your scores played live, and that's already very important. But not only do you get to hear your scores played live, but also in Carnegie Hall, and it's so important to have that in part of your portfolio and your profile to show to other people. Now, there are a few more dates. There's November 21st, April 1st if you're not planning to play with orchestra or to perform the piece with orchestra, and April 4th if you want your piece to be performed by orchestra only. So these are different dates we have, and we've booked Carnegie Hall for it. So submit your scores, submit everything, and we're calling for you to apply. This is so exciting, and I want to stress how cool it is that Sound Espressivo has grown so much in that, right? And this is all we have for you today, right? I want to stress that the immediate feedback is a huge, important part of our competition. I want to stress to you that these Carnegie Laureate Gala auditions are coming up soon, and to apply by October 1st. right? This is an incredible opportunity, and I'm really proud to be a part of this season and to present these to you. We are running our season all the way to July 2024, and with different opportunities around the world. Literally, whether you want to perform with orchestra in New York or in the Czech Republic, in Egypt, we have an opportunity for you. Right, so check out our website and check out what we have to offer, because I guarantee this is going to be an incredible season and I want you to be a part of it. Now, this all wouldn't be possible without our amazing sponsors who have given so much to be not only be part of the season, but to be loyal to us. A lot of these people you see on the screen have been with us for quite some time, from the Coburn School to James Adler to iClassical to Brilliant Talent Discovery to all these, you see, Bachfest, they've been there for a long time. And this is because they are invested in you. They're invested in our mission, they're invested in the competitors and the musicians who represent us, and I would love for you to be a part of it. We have piano rehearsal studios which support all the rehearsals before performing in Carnegie Hall. We have all the support of our sponsors, and we also stream everything live. We stream everything as much as we can, except for the actual Carnegie Hall performance, live for you. We stream all the rehearsals and the broadcast and the behind the scenes interviews, so that you and your family and your friends can feel like they're a part of your process, a part of your journey. And this wouldn't be possible without all our sponsors. I also wanted to give a big shout out to our crew. Virtual Concert Halls, we have a big crew that is growing, and if you want to be a part of it, let us know. We are looking for hosts, we're looking for tech directors, we're looking for people to be a part of our team to help us grow. But this team that we have is stellar. Not only have they been extremely loyal to us, but they've been in charge of making this all happen. Whether it's this show that you're seeing live, or whether it is all the stuff behind the scenes, and making not only the live auditions online possible, but also the in-person awards and the laureate galas and everything amazing as well. So I want to thank our partners, our team, and with that, we have more shows coming up every single day. So I hope you will join us and be a part of this amazing journey, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.